Hey everybody, so today we're going to be doing a little bit of like an unboxing, re-unboxing, because I got this statue a little while ago. This is the ArmyAntStudio First Form Cell Bust. When I originally got it, the tail that slotted into the back of it did not fit, so I've been waiting for a replacement, and I just ended up getting that, as well as a second replacement base. But the statue itself came in 2 boxes, this size, the exact same box. There's no art box or anything like that. It's just as soon as you open it up, you're treated to the fun packing materials. There's no art print, art box, or anything like that. I believe when I purchased it, it cost me around $900 US or $930 shipped. I can't remember if it was $9 or $930. But yeah, so this is pretty much everything that we got, and now we're gonna switch over to going through the different pieces together. This is the head for the First Form Cell, and I actually really love all the different colors they used. I love the purple that they put in the gem at the top of the forehead. It's got a little bit of a sparkle to it. The one thing I will say about this is they went more of a manga look with the face colors. This is a lot more yellow than the anime, but it ended up still looking really nice, and I do think it's a little underscaled compared to what we have when it comes to other busts from ArmyAntStudio. But I do like the head overall, and I think they really did capture every great detail about them. One of the things that I love when it comes to busts is I hate when there's stickers for eyes. This is not a sticker, actually, this is actually sculpted. And that's one of the things I love about busts, is when the eyes are sculpted, because stickers I always feel take a little bit away from them, but I do understand why they do them, because you get a lot more detail out of stickers sometimes. This is now the torso for the First Form Cell bust. What I really love about this is all the different intricate spots that are on this, and they're painted perfectly. There's no paint bleed anywhere, and I just really love the way it all comes together. They actually did a great job in regards to how all the pieces fit for the most part. The only thing I'll say is once we put it together, you'll kind of see is one of the arms doesn't completely key into the other one, but I'm not alone in that. A lot of people had the same exact issue. But this is kind of a good way to say or show that the bust is just a little bit underscaled, because I am 5'7" and it's about the same size as my torso. And if we look at it in the anime, he is much taller than Piccolo. I know it's a lot of leg, but I still think the arms or the chest is a little bit underscaled. So this is the back of the cell. What I really do love about this is they have a spot for the tail, and there's a giant magnet in the middle of it, which really holds it in place. So you don't have to worry about it falling out of its spot. It rests perfectly in this slot. So as the tail comes around, there's a lot of weight that also it locks it in place down here. And there's now also 2 spots for the wings that attach to the back of it. There are magnets on each side, but I find that they're a little weak, at least when it comes to my wings. And the wings rest on my table. I'm not sure if the magnets will hold it if you have the wings hanging off of the table, but I wouldn't recommend having them hang, at least from the way mine has been working. But I really do love how much blue they added in the back of this. It looks like they really took a lot of time to make sure that it was as accurate as they could make it. So now that we're at the tail, I know it's kind of weird to hold this, but when I ended up getting this, it actually had been deformed, where if you would slot this into the back of the bust, this would actually hit the left shoulder. So you couldn't actually put the tip of the tail on, and you couldn't actually get the tail to slot in perfectly. So that's one of the best things I'll say about ArmyAnt is if you have an issue, they will immediately ship you a replacement. They're very quick to help you out. There's no questions asked. When I let them know, hey, I got a base and the light is purple on it, it's supposed to be green, immediately Zora, the one that runs ArmyAnt, reached out to me and he said, you know what, we'll send you a new base, we'll send you a new tail, just sit tight. And I did get a brand new tail, I got a brand new base, and we'll be going through the base together and all the different light functions that it offers. But I just want to always make sure that I give credit when a studio is being more than helpful when it comes to different statue issues. Many of us in the statue community have kind of just become used to defects that come with your statues, whether it's breaks, parts not fitting. A lot of this stuff has become the norm, but with ArmyAnt, you'll immediately get a replacement. So I can't speak highly enough about them. I know they just released their Vegito statue because I have a good friend that ended up getting his. And another cool thing that ArmyAnt ended up doing is when this originally shipped, there was no COA with it. And a lot of the fans had said, you know what, we really want to see a COA with the bust. I have not gotten mine yet. Mine has been shipped though, and I have a photo which I'll put in the video right now of a friend that got his. It's nothing crazy, but it goes to show just how above and beyond they will go. They ended up shipping them free of cost to everybody that ended up buying one. I believe that there's 30 to 50 of these in existence. It's either 30 or 50, I can't recall exactly. And now I'm glad we have a COA, because when it comes to highly limited, the base doesn't have a numbering on it, there's no COA, and I'm not saying that ArmyAnt did this, but there's always a little bit of worry of, is there actually 30? Is there more? There's no way to really tell. And now that we actually have COAs, there's a little bit more of authenticity that comes with the actual number amount that has been made. All right, so these are the two wings. They're not full wings, which they couldn't be unless it was completely hanging off, but I really do love the purple that they did on the inside. I like the little bit of gloss that it does come with. They did a great job sealing this. I can't talk highly enough about how well the paint job is. I really do think that they went above and beyond with it. I know recently I've been talking to Zora from ArmyAnt, and he had let me know that they switched factories. So we can only expect even a higher level of quality coming with their future busts that are coming out. I know Deborah just released as well. But what I do love about these is they're there and you can see them from the front, but they're not overwhelming. So once we put these in and show you guys how everything goes in piece by piece, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about when it comes to they're there, but they're not overpowering. And you'll then get to also see how they rest on the shelf that I have. And we're going to walk you through how each piece goes on, because when my wife and I initially were putting it together, it was kind of, not only because we had a tail that didn't fit properly, we were like, well, do we put the arms on first? Do we do the tail? Do we have the head on there? Seems really simple until you start putting it together, and then you're like, okay, well, maybe I should have done X, Y, and Z just so it fits a little bit better. So we're going to now pan over to putting this guy together. So when putting it together, what works best for me is throwing the wings in first, then the tail, then the arms, just because the tail gets in the way of the wings in the back. So when I throw these guys in, it lets me kind of freely pop them in, whereas when it comes to the tail, it really does get stuck against the left wing. So we'll grab the left wing now, pop that guy on in. There we go. It does shift a little bit on the base when you're putting the parts in. This guy isn't exactly 100% stable. With the wings touching here, he doesn't shake, but when you're putting the wings in, you'll notice this guy kind of moves a little bit on the base. And again, what I do like about the base is I love the halo look. Katie kind of founded that first, but I do love that they kind of went with it, because it does end up matching a lot of what else is on the market. So now that we have those in, we'll end up throwing the arms in, and what we're gonna put in first is the left arm, because the right arm slots into it. And you can kind of see that right here, there's these divots, and that's where the fingers are supposed to lay. Now, what I will say, and I'm not the only one that's run into it, is they don't slot it. The hand kind of sits a little bit higher on the arm than where the divots are, so I'm not quite sure if that was just kind of a bad mold that took place, but you really can't tell unless you're looking for it. But I always like slotting this one in second too, because I'm not sure if everyone's is like this, but magnets are a lot stronger in my guy's right arm versus the left. So once they're like this, he's not going anywhere. So what we'll do next then is we're going to grab the tail, slot that in. We removed Gohan's arm just because of how close everything is together. And this is a little bit tricky with this type of space. So what we will do, pop this guy behind. Wing in. There we go. Getting pretty good at this. Pop this guy on. And what's nice is, since I got the replacement tail, this is a solid extra inch or two up off the shoulder. My original one would actually touch the shoulder, and I could not get the orange stinger tip to fit on the tail. So big shout out to, again, Zora at ArmyAntStudio. He really did step up and get me the replacements that I needed. So it does all fit very well together. So one of the things I really do love about this is you have the color matching logo that matches Sal, you have the Kid Buu logo that matches Kid Buu's color scheme, or Each of them come with a variant where you can just have the original color for the Dragonballz logo. It's a really nice touch, and it really kind of themes it out. And one of the other things I really liked about this, and it's kind of an issue with mine, is the ring on Cell is supposed to be white, blue, green, where Kid Buu has, I think it's white, yellow, and then a bright purple, which really would have been nice to have that theming go through, but unfortunately, mine kind of didn't have that. So when I turn mine on, I have white, I have kind of a swampy yellow, which is what I usually will leave it as, and then I actually have a purple. Now, when I spoke to ArmyAnt about this, they had let me know during shipping, it could have gotten knocked around and it could have messed with how they locked the different color coding for the base with the LEDs. And at first, I did not believe that was a real thing. I figured that it was just kind of, I got a Kid Buu bust base LED ring with my Cell. And what's funny is if you leave it on purple for a while, it will eventually turn red. And I'm not sure why, but it looks pretty cool, but I do not get green. So when I got the replacement tail, if you remember, I also got a replacement base, which is really cool, but it also is purple. They're both purple. I didn't get my green base. But the reason I kind of did the put together this way is I can at least show you the bottom, that there's no artwork either on the bottom of these. It's just a nice felt pad. Again, until we get those COAs, there's nothing that really sets it apart and lets us know that it is a limited item. But again, I've seen them, and earlier in the video, there's a photo of one that I know of a person that has received theirs. And the other thing that I really do like about this is it's USB-C in the back. One item that kind of cripples the bases, in my opinion. I love this feature, but I don't know if it's the base's fault or if it's the battery pack. But each of ArmyAnt's busts, at least for these three, come with a battery pack where you just pop in 3 AA batteries, which I really love because when you end up having all of these statues that need an outlet or what have you, it just gets really cumbersome to find a spot for them, and then you have to individually turn them all on. With these, you just flip a switch and it's USB-C from a battery pack. Problem is even if I turn this off and this is plugged in, it drains the batteries. You have to unplug this every single time you're done using the LEDs. So I actually just ended up stealing Gohan's power supply for the recording of this video. But again, it's a great idea. It's just there's something about it that continues to drain power. Overall, if I'm looking at the space, I definitely would give it, I think I'd match the Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta and give it a 7 out of 10. It's phenomenal, but it's a little underscaled because as you can see, it scales with Kid Buu perfectly. And Kid Buu is the shortest villain that we have. They should not be the same height. He scales decently with Gohan, but his shoulders are as wide as Piccolo's in the show. So he should really tower over almost everything here, and I'm okay with his scale. One of the things I've learned when it comes to collecting busts is you have all these different studios doing different size scales. You have MRC that's overscaled. You have KD's older stuff that is underscaled. You have ArmyAnt that, again, I think that their scaling is pretty good, but I think it's hard to kind of figure out where their scaling lies because I only have 2 of their busts so far. And Cell and Kid Buu shouldn't be near the same size. But again, that's where it kind of gets difficult to collect busts. I've kind of gotten over the idea of I need everything to be from the same line. I just kind of want it to be within the same scaling to a degree. So at least when you display them, they look natural. And that's why I kind of leave him next to the Gohan. Because he's a little underscaled, he's a little underscaled, but they really work well together.